Coming up tonight on Newswatch, 2 former principals have been indicted. We'll tell you who they are and how significant their charges are.
Also, a well-known Coles County institution is exhilarating in the change. We'll have more details later tonight.
Plus, faculty at a local university are officially on strike. We'll explain why staff thought a strike was necessary coming up. This is Newswatch, and your Friday's edition starts now. Two former principals in the Paris Union School District have been federally indicted, and that's our top story tonight. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Matthew Posner.
And I'm Austin Perez. The two face allegations of misspending public money. According to court documents, former Carolyn Wentz Elementary School principal Megan Carroll and former Mayo Middle School principal Kyle Shea have been indicted on federal charges of embezzlement from a federally funded program. Prosecutors allege they misspent more than $10,000 of federal COVID money by overbilling their mileage. They say that occurred while the district was providing additional services to students between 2020 and 2023. Shea was listed as Director of Student Support by the Arcola School District. That district released a statement saying Shea has been placed on administrative leave. Shea and Carroll have both entered not guilty pleas, and a jury trial is scheduled for June 1st. Faculty at the University of Illinois Springfield are on strike. That strike began today. Capital News Illinois reports the union is seeking a nearly 3% raise this year and 6% over the next 2 years. The university has offered a 1% raise they say complies with a U of I system-wide program. The strike comes as state lawmakers debate a new funding formula to give more money to lower-funded campuses like UIS.
One person is dead and 3 others are injured after a car crash in Decatur on Thursday afternoon. Decatur police say just after 2:20 p.m., an SUV failed to yield to a car at the intersection of North 24th Street and East El Dorado Street. Authorities say an 82-year-old male passenger in the SUV was taken to a local hospital where he later died. The 82-year-old driver of the SUV was transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The occupants of the car, a 23-year-old driver and 6-year-old passenger, were also taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say all involved are Decatur residents. Their names have not yet been released, and the accident remains under investigation. If you live in Decatur, you now have a new way to connect with local police. The Decatur Police Department just launched Citizen Connect, a tool that provides residents with data on police activity in the city. The tool integrates with regional dispatch systems and lets users view police activity using filters like date, incident type, and category. Citizen Connect also features an interactive map. Decatur police say the tool doesn't display exact addresses for safety reasons, and information is mapped at the block level. They also say some sensitive calls and cases won't be displayed. Citizen Connect replaces DPD Connect, which is no longer active. You can find the Citizen Connect tool online at the City of Decatur's website. Illinois Republicans are calling on Democratic lawmakers and Governor J.B. Pritzker to work with them on property tax reform. That comes after the release of a report showing massive property tax increases in Cook County over the past 3 decades. Capital News Illinois reports Republicans blame higher property taxes across the state on Democratic policies and unfunded school mandates. Earlier this week, Governor Pritzker said school districts bear part of the responsibility for continuing to raise property taxes despite increased funding from the state. While local governments set their own property tax rates, Republican State Representative Dan Ugasti says they are limited by what the state allows.
We can lower property taxes. We can pass property tax relief bills like HB 9, which this past year alone would have provided $3.5 billion of property tax relief statewide.
House Bill 9 would create a program to award grants for property tax relief to school districts in exchange for limiting tax increases. The bill has not yet been heard in a committee meeting. More than $4 million are being earmarked for local economic improvements. The grants are part of the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunities Regional Site Readiness Program. State officials say the city of Albany will receive more than $2.3 million for road, water, and sewer improvements at an 80-acre city-owned industrial park. The Crawford County Economic Development Association in Robinson will receive more than $2.1 million to acquire 123 acres and establish the new Crawford County Industrial Park. The Regional Site Readiness Program provides grants to make sites more attractive to businesses and help communities in the economic planning process. Initially, $30 million was allocated to that program, which the Illinois Governor's Office says has now been doubled to $60 million.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker is again pushing to make E15 a permanent option at the pump. Pritzker sent a letter to Congress urging them to pass legislation to permanently authorize year-round sales of E15 gasoline. The product is a mix of 15% ethanol and 85% gasoline. Pritzker says increased ethanol demand would help support corn prices, strengthen rural economies, and provide a more stable market for Illinois farmers. Under the current system, Illinois has to apply for a federal waiver to sell E15 in the summer months because it can create smog in hot and humid conditions. The Trump administration delayed the waiver last year and still hasn't approved it for this year, despite requests from several Midwestern governors, including Pritzker. The state's top attorney says he's standing up for those injured by pesticide manufacturers. Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul says he and 18 other attorneys general filed an amicus brief before the U.S. Supreme Court in the Monsanto Company versus Durnell case. The brief urges the Supreme Court to preserve long-standing state laws that allow those injured by pesticide manufacturers to seek justice in court. He says the laws protect consumers by encouraging manufacturers to adequately warn them about potential health risks posed by their products. The case in question stems from the pesticide Roundup and whether Monsanto was obligated to warn consumers the product could increase their risk of developing cancer, a claim the manufacturer disputes. Well, after more than 6 decades, a Coles County institution is beginning a new chapter.
Newswatch's Andrew Spade shows us the history and the future of a local landmark.
For more than 60 years, a dragway in Charleston has been home to countless races, championships, and memories. But now that track is shifting gears for the future.
One of the things that we decided to do when we come in to show the racing community that we're invested as owners is we put new concrete in from the burnout box up towards the starting line.
Mike Irwin purchased the Coles County Dragway towards the end of January and is making sure to leave his mark early on. But for Mike, this dragway is more than just a dragway.
I had to talk my wife into it, but she went along with it because she knows my passion for cars and racing and knows that my dad used to bring me out here when I was a kid, and so there's a lot of history there.
And Mike has these memories all because of a group of friends with an idea back in 1965. Terry Noble was one of those friends with that idea, and he's one of the original builders of the Coles County Dragway.
So they talked about it, and then all at once they decided, let's quit talking. Neil says, I've got the asphalt. Dick says, I've got some money. Fuquay said, yeah, I've got the land. So he said, let's do it.
Now, while building the Coles County Dragway back in 1965, some of Terry's fondest memories aren't even at the track itself. His greatest memories were building this bridge right behind me on the entryway to the Coles County Dragway.
Do you think we can get an 80,000-pound dump truck full of asphalt across that creek? Fuquay says, no, I've got the big I-beams. He said, I've got the dirt movers and the bulldozer and everything. He said, I'll build a bridge, and we'll put dirt on each side and bring it up, and we'll cross it. And what I build, it will hold it.
The dragway is in new hands now, and Terry is sure optimistic about it.
But now we're in a new regime, and I'm kind of excited about it. I mean, I'm too old to be too excited, but I'm pretty excited about it.
Mike understands that and wants to continue Terry's legacy.
It's important for me to carry on with that, and I want to make it mutually beneficial, not just as an owner, but as a racer and the spectators. We want to give them a great show and put on the safest show that we can.
In Charleston, I'm Andrew Spade for WEIU Newswatch.
Mike adds that in the next couple years, he's planning on restriping the facility, upgrading buildings at the track, and continuing to replace concrete on the dragway. As you saw on that dragway, it's been a rainy past few days here in East Central Illinois.
Persephone Gordon will have more on your Skywatch forecast right after this break. Thank you for watching. This is the Newswatch on WEIU.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street, the Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection, commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.
Good evening, and I hope you enjoyed the warm weather we had today. For our high temperatures, it was mostly in the mid-70s to high 70s, as we can see here. Danville was around 71, Charleston around 77, and Effingham around 78. Mostly cloudy, though there was some sun coming through. And as we go to our nightly temperatures, we see 69 is our low for Friday, but also our high for Saturday because the temperature keeps dropping. We have rain showers going on, winds from the south 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts at 20 miles per hour. And as we continue to the weekend preview, we go to Saturday, 69 degrees once again, rain showers and cooling down. Then Sunday, partly cloudy, cooler winds, 52 degrees, but it does warm up for Monday a little bit, mostly cloudy, but the temperatures do drop after that 56-degree high. And as we go to see our futurecast, we have some scattered showers going on, and it does consolidate a little bit around early morning Sunday, but then it does drop off completely. We have no more rain as that front leaves us behind. And for our daily breakdown, once again, 69 is still the high for Saturday, mostly cloudy, and then 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's a little bit of rain going on as the temperature keeps dropping. 65 down to 58, the winds changing from southwest 15 to 20 miles per hour to west 20 to 25, continuing that way for 3 p.m. where it goes to 54. 6 p.m. we see the winds drop down a little bit, 51 degrees, as the front leaves us behind. And for the rain totals, it looks like we're around an inch to a little bit above that in some places. Robinson is close to half an inch, Charleston an inch and a little over an inch, Danville an inch and a half. And as we move to see the jet stream, the trough is over us right now, which is what's promoting the weather we've been seeing, that rain from the slow moving system that we have here. As it moves forward, we get to see those cooler temperatures that we see on as Saturday and Sunday, and then it warms up a little bit for later Sunday. There we go. And for the 7-day outlook, again, the weekend will cool down, 69 degrees down to 52. And then for the work week, we are in the mid-50s down to the 40s, a little bit of a roller coaster going on basically, to the mid-60s and then up to the low 70s. We see a little bit of rain going on Thursday, a little bit of clouds going on. And yeah, we're good to go to the table now.
Thank you, Persephone. Coming up tonight in sports, we're less than a day away from one of the biggest basketball games in Illinois history.
I spoke with fans in Champaign who have waited a lifetime for this moment. We'll have the details coming up next. Thank you for watching. Your WEIU Sports Watch Report is coming up next.
Hi, I'm Larry Smith, second-generation EIU Panther and a proud alum of the WEIU program. For nearly 4 decades, I've had the privilege of reporting on some of the biggest stories of my generation, from getting to know so many East Central Illinoisans to a quarter-century on the anchor desks at CNN Sports and Turner Sports, covering major events worldwide, championship celebrations, and even presidential inaugurations. It's been a career that has far exceeded even my wildest dreams. One that would not have been possible without WEIU, which finds itself in peril. Recent legislation in Washington took away the program's federal funding. So on their behalf, I'm asking you to consider making a donation. WEIU is one of the best training grounds in the nation for students who have a passion for journalism, broadcasting, radio, TV production, and they're worth your gift. You can find more info at weiu.net. Thank you in advance for your gift.
It is less than 24 hours away. You know what I'm talking about. Illinois and Connecticut meeting in Indy for a spot in the national championship. This week, we've showed you the players, we've remembered the history, and today we're focusing on the fans. After the U of I men's basketball team's victory over Iowa in the Elite Eight, fans are proudly displaying their orange and blue on and off the school's campus. No, your eyes are not deceiving you. That's right. The alma mater statue on U of I's campus has a Kylan Boswell jersey and a headband to celebrate U of I making it into the Final Four. They get ready to take on UConn Saturday night. Spots around Illinois' campus are connecting with students, from restaurants on Green Street offering a spot to enjoy food with the game, to the Courtyard Cafe at the Illini Union hosting a large watch party. And it's more than a game. For some students like Graham Eric, Illini pride is in their blood.
My mom's an alumni at this school. She was over the moon when she heard I got in. And I think both me and her, we just love cheering on this team. They're making that breakthrough. They're finally showing what they're made of, and that's really exciting when you're a fan.
Game Day Spirits Corey Schumart has been in the business long enough to remember the iconic 2005 team and the waves of excitement it sent throughout Champaign-Urbana. Getting to see the new generation of fans celebrate this historic moment to him feels
phenomenal. Just being able to see them experience this for the first time, the student body, our management team, so many people behind the scenes at Game Day Spirit, and it's not just, you know, my memories anymore. Now they have their experiences, they have their memories too, and they're experiencing this for the first time, and it's just been wonderful to see.
And if the Illini pull through,
I don't even know what I do. I haven't thought that far ahead. Honestly, I'm just thinking about getting through UConn first.
From the Illini Union bookstore to Neal Street, fans will stay true to the orange and blue, even after the final buzzer comes Saturday. And we still have a whole night before the big game, but when it comes, it'll be up to the Fighting Illini to get revenge for their early season loss to the Huskies in November. Orange and blue fans showed out at the Illini's practice earlier today in Indianapolis. They'll be there when Illinois faces UConn tomorrow night at 5:09. Illinois men's basketball isn't the only team making a Final Four appearance, as the wheelchair basketball team is amongst the last four remaining as well. The Illini took down the UT Arlington Broncos by 13 last night to advance to the semifinals and are currently in action in the semis against top-seeded Alabama. Illinois trails by 2 at halftime, with the Crimson Tide up 31-29. You can watch the national championship and third-place game live tomorrow on the National Wheelchair Basketball Association YouTube page. The national championship begins at 3:30 p.m. The winner of Illinois and UConn will take on the winner of the other star-studded Final Four showdown, as 1 seeds Arizona and Michigan square off. The Wildcats won the Big 12 championship this season, having won 13 straight games and sit at 36-2 on the season. Arizona is led by 3 projected first-round picks, Koa Mutiagas, Krivas, and Braden Burries. Standing in their way are the Wolverines, who are led by superstars forward Yaxel Landenborg and center Ade Mara. Those two helped Michigan finish second in the Big Ten and 35-3 overall. Game 2 of the Final Four is slated to tip off tomorrow night just before 8. In the pit, EIU hosted Lindenwood today for their first and only home beach volleyball match of the season. The Panthers played their first ever at the brand new Linder Sports Complex, and the Eastern Illinois fans showed out as they honored their 6 seniors. Unfortunately, the results didn't go Eastern's way as they fell to Lindenwood 4-1. The Panthers are now 2-8 overall and 1-5 in the OVC. Next up for the Panthers, they will travel to Clarksville, Tennessee for the Austin Peay Tournament starting April 10th. From the sand to the mound, Eastern Illinois baseball looks for redemption after a blowout loss to Tennessee Tech. The Panthers gave up a ton of runs as they fell 21-6 in the first of a 3-game series against the Golden Eagles yesterday. EIU struggled on the mound, leading to an offensive outburst by Tennessee Tech, who scored 21 runs on 23 hits. Yikes! Eastern drops to a 15-11 record, while the Golden Eagles improved to 10-20 overall this season. The second game of the series is set to begin tonight at 6. Now to the women's side of the mound, the Panthers are back in action after their 15-game win streak comes to an end after a scoreless loss to Indiana State. EIU are now set to face their toughest opponent today, a UT Martin team that is currently tied for second in the OVC standings. Eastern comes into this game after their first loss in over a month against a non-conference opponent, the Indiana State Sycamores. The Panthers still ride their OVC win streak, currently at 12, as they sit at 20-17 overall this season. This game is currently underway right now, and after checking the scoreboard, things are even 4-4 at the bottom of the fifth. At the pro level, St. Louis Cardinals head to Detroit to take on Framber Valdez and the Tigers in their first road contest of the season. In the bottom of the third, Gleyber Torres' line drive to right looks like it's going to score Tigers' run. But check out this throw by Jordan Walker as Ivan Herrera tags out Javi Baez at the plate to keep this game tied at 0. But in the fourth, it's a Dingler dinger, say that twice, as Dylan Dingler rips a 2-run homer to left field, giving Detroit the lead. Riley Green and Baez each drive in runs on singles in the 5th and 6th innings respectively to extend the Tigers' advantage. And the Cardinals' offense never wakes up in this one. Detroit takes down St. Louis 4-0, and these two teams will face off again tomorrow at noon. In Chicago, the White Sox play for the first time this season at Wright Field as the defending AL champion Toronto Blue Jays come to town. The Sox lead 3-1 heading into the 8th, but a 2-run homer by Blue Jays shortstop Andres Jimenez ties the game and sends us to extra innings. Toronto scores a run in the top of the 8th to take the lead, but catcher Alejandro Kirk injured his thumb in the bottom of the inning, forcing a last-second switch behind the plate. Backup catcher Tyler Heineman makes a costly error, and the Sox tie it up in the 10th. And in the next at-bat, Tristan Peters drills a walk-off RBI single to win it for Chicago. The White Sox win a wild one over the Blue Jays, 5-4. Finally tonight, U of I men's basketball has a big weekend ahead, but they've already started it off on the right foot as they've signed a top prospect for next season. According to 24/7 Sports, 6'4" guard Quentin Coleman is signing with the Illini. Coleman, who played high school ball in St. Louis, initially committed to Wake Forest, but decommitted last month. As a senior, Coleman averaged 23 points and 6 rebounds a game while shooting over 50% from beyond the arc. And that wraps up tonight's Sports Watch Report. Matthew, back to you.
Thanks, Austin. Persephone Gordon returns in just a moment for a final look at your Easter weekend forecast. But first, it's a reunion 5 years in the making. We'll share more in our final story of the week right after this. Thanks for watching. This is Newswatch on WEIU.
The Super Mario Galaxy movie is off to a stellar start. The animated sequel made an estimated $34.5 million in domestic ticket sales on Wednesday, the best opening day of the year so far. Box office watchers think grosses for its first 5 days could approach $200 million. We'll see if the third time's the charm for The Corrections. Meryl Streep is set to executive produce and star in a limited series for Netflix based on the 2001 Jonathan Franzen novel. Previously, a film version and another series based on the book were developed but never came off. Wizards Beyond Waverly Place is coming back for one last spell. Disney says a final 4-part event goes into production this month, with Selena Gomez making her directorial debut with the first episode. It's due out this summer on Disney Channel and Disney+. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Finally tonight, a California woman is reunited with her dog 5 years after her beloved pet disappeared. Michelle Bluestone says she got a call from an animal shelter saying they had found her dog Lola. Bluestone hadn't seen Lola since 2021 after the Schnauzer mix escaped their backyard. After putting up several flyers and checking in with various shelters for months, Bluestone says she eventually began grieving the loss, assuming that Lola had passed away. But in a miraculous turn of events in late February, she got that call from the shelter after a microchip scan of the dog showed Bluestone as Lola's owner. As you can see, the two have reunited at Bluestone's home, and both of them are doing well. Well, this week's weather certainly has not been a walk in the park unless you like getting drenched by Mother Nature. Persephone Gordon is back with a final check of the Skywatch forecast.
And looking back to our 7-day forecast, we once again see that the temperatures are dropping down for the weekend, 69 down to 52, and that work week is going to be a little on the cool side. It'll warm up though nearing the end. We'll see 74 near the end, but we will see that low of 48 for Tuesday. It's going to be mostly cloudy across the board, though we will see some more rain on Thursday. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Persephone, and thank you for joining us tonight. For more news and weather, be sure to log on to our website at WEIU.net. There, you'll find real-time forecasts and news videos of the day.
And if news is happening in your community, let us know by dropping us an email at news@weiu.net. Enjoy your Easter weekend, and we'll see you on Monday for another edition of Newswatch. Good night, everybody.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street, the Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection. Commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.